Good morning. Thought it'd be easier to just do a little video rather than do some writing today, because there was lots I wanted to talk about kids returning to school and how it's going to affect them. And I'm kind of coming at this from an approach as a homeopath, also as a mum, and also as somebody who worked in the education system for 12 years. And I know that there's lots of things that I don't feel comfortable with, and yeah, it kind of got me thinking really about what we could do for kids who are going to be going back to school from potentially the 1st of June, and how we can support them in terms of remedies and other things we can do to make life a little bit easier for children. So really, for kids, they're going to be coming out of this bubble that hopefully has been a really safe, protective bubble. Parents at home, everything on tap, really cozy and nice, and that's great for some kids. Obviously they're coming out of an environment that is going to have been pretty harsh and tough, and they're going to be going back into a safe bubble, so there's kind of a conflicting approach there really. But for any child, whether they're reception year 1 or year 6, it's going to be a little bit of shock to the system, and that shock is going to probably manifest for those who find it difficult in a whole range of ways. I know how I feel about the thought of potentially coming out of my own little bubble, and initially I didn't want to go into lockdown. I was quite resistant to it. I like having my own freedom. However, now it's quite nice, and the thought of having to get back into normality is not really something that I'm looking forward to. I've got these great habits, so I'm thinking, how would that feel for a child? And potentially their relationships will change with their friends, because not all are all their friends going to be going back at the same time. Are they going to be able to hug their friends, go up to them closely? Their relationship with their environment will have changed. This whole element of fear is being brought in. And then there's their relationship with their teachers, who they normally absolutely revere, but will the teachers be suddenly acting differently and being a little bit more harsh with them? So the whole relationship they have with themselves, their environment, the people that they love and respect, is going to be very challenging. Now, how might this affect them on a kind of physical level? Well, it could affect children in terms of changes within their appetite. It could be things like skin ailments might suddenly come back, reappear. Before we went into lockdown, children were being asked to wash their hands with sanitizer, sing happy birthday twice. And the impact of doing that, what I found was really children were having a lot of outbreaks of eczema, itchy skin, damaged skin, red, raw, inflamed skin. So that there's that potential to come back again. Also, in terms of allergic responses, may be heightened. So it could be that this sort of unusual relationship with their environment actually puts stress on them, and then their hay fever might get worse, or if they're suddenly affected by dust or even allergies towards food, I'm expecting that could potentially be something that affects very, very sensitive children. Also, 4 or 5-year-olds going back, it's going to be a shock in terms of the emotions. There may be some tears, there may be some clinginess, there may be some moody, grumpy, bad behaviour, some belligerence, destructiveness, questioning why, and a lot of it very fear-based. So you may have brought your child up in the last few months to sort of make them feel that everything is safe and nice, and then they head back into school, and this element of fear is kind of part of the dominant narrative within what they're being dealt with on a day-to-day basis. So they're going to have their own kind of personal boundaries pushed really, and that may manifest as tears, and upset and anxiety. So children are like sponges, and they absorb the moods of those around them. Also, in terms of, I've got a nice long list here, so I've just got to turn my page. In terms of sleep and dreams, sleep and dreams are where our imagination comes out to play, and if we suppress stuff, then it comes out at night time. And for primary age children, as a busy homeopath, I tend to see a lot of children with night terrors. or children who get very clingy and don't want to sleep in their own beds and will go into mum and dad's bed in the middle of the night, or refuse to settle into their own beds, or they may start wetting the bed again. And none of this is to alarm you. This is just what I see as a homeopath in my normal practice, and how anxiety affects children on a normal level. So in terms of, this is not a normal situation, how may it affect them? So I just want you to be mindful. If your child is not seeming themselves when they head back into the classroom, let's look out for these symptoms. But children are hugely resilient. They can deal with so much stuff, but equally, if they suppress these emotions, they've got to come out somewhere. And my concerns really for children who are in that year 6 age group, who are then going to be going back to school for a few weeks and then having this summer holiday and then going to transition to a new school, is that when the the emotion comes out, when they find it difficult to to go from one school to another. So there are some ideas I've got on how you can help children, particularly now at this time. So everything I've mentioned in terms of the anxiety, potential skin issues, everything can be treated with homeopathy, absolutely everything. And I've got a lot of experience working with children with all of those issues. But how anxiety affects your child is very individualized. So, just ask, just give me a shout if you need any help and support. Homeopathic remedies are great for children to pop in their water bottles on the way to school. So as a mum, this is a strategy that I used a lot when both my two were at primary school. And what I would say to them was, you're going to be fine. Let's just pop this little remedy in the bottle, and you can sip it throughout the day. And then if you're feeling a little bit sad or a little bit anxious, you can just have a sip, and it's like makes your water a bit magic. So my two loved that, especially on days when they were a bit nervous about something like a school assembly, or somebody had upset them. So remedies are great in water. Also, if your child is suffering with any skin issues that come up, then just give me a shout. I've got loads of products in stock at home. I offer free advice on any skincare products anyway, so I'm happy to chat with you about that. And then another couple of little things that I've just picked up along the way, again from being a mum and also working with a lot of children in my practice, is if they're really, really worried, then you can get these really great little dolls called worry dolls. You can buy them on Amazon. They're like tiny little figurines that are sort of like that sort of size, and they come in a little bag, and I think they come from Peru or Colombia or somewhere like that. And you take the worry dolls out, you tell them your worries, and then you pop them under your pillow at night time. And then the children believe that the worry dolls take their worries away, and that's worked really successfully for a lot of children that I've worked with, particularly that kind of reception year 1 age, where they like the magic of it. Also, there's a really nice meditation you can do as a parent with your child, in which you invite your child to sit down with you at bedtime. You create this kind of idea of a magic golden bucket, and the child puts their worries in the golden bucket, and you put some of your worries in there too, and you do it together. And then you get them to just leave their invisible magic bucket at the end of the bed, and you ask them at night time, for an angel or a fairy or whatever magical creature you want that they're into. You ask them to take this golden bucket away, and then their worries are taken away. So that's something, again, that's really worked for my daughter in particular, but it also has worked with a lot of young people that I've worked with in my practice. So there really is no need for you to suffer if things are challenging. Like I said, my concerns are based on children's issues that I see regularly anyway. But if you've got any worries, if you've got any concerns, if it is a difficult time for them or for you, just I'm happy for you to give me a shout, and let's work together to make this as smooth for children as possible. If you've got year 6 children and they're really worried about that transition to secondary, again, we've got some time where we can work together and really get them ready for them. And if you've got secondary age children, maybe they're feeling a little bit anxious because they don't know when they're going back to school yet. I really thought my son would not want to go back, but actually He's year 9 and he's really fed up and just wanting to go back and hang with his mates now, and do something else. So he's really anxious to get back to school. And my daughter, who's in year 12, she's keen to get back because she's worrying about what she's missing. So, you know, every year group has got concerns. We don't know what the repercussions of this are going to be long term, but we do know that there are lots of natural things that we can do to help and support them. So I think I've rambled on for long enough now, but you know where I am if you need me. And I wish you and your families a really happy, safe transition back to normality, whatever that may be. Okay, bye.